Unfortunately, porn addiction has become such a large problem for guys nowadays, and this issue is so much more widespread than people can even imagine. But fortunately, there is good news, there is a way out of this, and we're going to cover some of the ways that you can recover from this destructive habit in this video. So first of all, if you're unaware of all the ways in which porn is basically destroying your brain, you can check out the part 1 of this video right here. Chances are, if you're here though, you're already aware of that. So let's get into some of the steps that we can start taking to treat this addiction. So this is where things get a little bit more subjective, and it might differ from person to person, but I'll just share the things that have helped me out a ton. And these methods and ideologies can be applied to basically any addiction, not just pornography. So if you've got something else in your life that you're struggling with, or a negative habit that you want to get rid of, try implementing these same tactics. So the first one's a little bit cliche, and a lot of you guys probably know this, but the first step in fixing a problem is acknowledging that there is one in the first place. So you need to first identify that this is actually a problem for you, because until you recognize it, you're kind of going to be in this state of denial, and you won't actually take yourself or any attempts that you make to better yourself or fix this behavior very seriously. The second thing that you can try is finding other outlets for your sexual energy. This is probably the one that has been the most impactful for me. Going to the gym is absolutely huge. Channeling that sexual energy into building up your body and becoming a better version of yourself physically is very rewarding. The third thing that you can do is put an increased focus on your career or your creative ventures. I run a digital marketing agency, so I've always got client work that needs to get done. I also write and produce content for channels related to that agency as well. And I've got this channel here where I've got to come up with ideas and write scripts and draft content and do a bunch of editing. So there's a lot of stuff that always needs to get done, and a lot of it is creative and requires me to have some sort of mental energy and creative inspiration, I guess. So by not wasting my testosterone and sexual energy with pornography, it allows me to harness and store a lot more of that and use that creative and sexual energy in a much more productive way. I feel like it also just makes me more level-headed, and I can make better business decisions. I'm not so clouded, the brain fog isn't there. And on top of that, I have a deeper desire to grow things and keep building and make things bigger and better. And just that overall competitive drive is 100% increased. Kind of a little side note here, but I want to get spiritual with you guys. Your sexual energy is creative energy. It has the potential to create a brand new sentient being, to create a child. If used appropriately, that same energy can also be used to create a new life, but for you. So find the aspects of your life that you want to develop further and apply this abundant sexual energy that you have into that aspect of life. So the next thing that can really help you when overcoming your pornography addiction is understanding your triggers. Now, there are plenty of different ways that your sexual urges could be triggered, and a lot of them might be different from individual to individual. Generally speaking, here are the most common triggers for addictions in general. You are the most susceptible to your addictions and behaviors that are unwanted when you are tired, hungry, angry, or stressed. We use addictions to escape discomfort, and being tired, angry, sleepy, or hungry or stressed out are all uncomfortable feelings that we basically are just trying to escape and avoid. Understanding that and being aware when you're in those states can help solve the problem and remind you to just get to the root of the issue. Eat some food, get some sleep, take a breath and relax. Go get some exercise. Address the thing that is actually causing you those negative feelings, and don't just try to naturally default to the coping mechanism. This next tactic is one that takes a little bit of practice, but it can be extremely powerful when you finally master it, and that is to acknowledge your urges when you feel them and just sit with them for a moment. Literally, that's it. Be look, I know that I'm feeling this way. Instead of doing something about it, let me just sit here and feel that thing for 5 minutes. And I guarantee you, more times than not, if 5 minutes go by, you end up getting bored, you get distracted, you start doing something else, and that urge completely subsides. Feelings are just that. They're only feelings, and they come and go. So if you can practice acknowledging them without acting on them, you can begin to reinforce your discipline, your self-control, and your willpower. And eventually, over time, it becomes easier and easier to just say no. So additionally, another thing that you can do is to try to make it harder to access porn. Delete Reddit, don't use private browser tabs, change your internet settings on your phone. Don't follow IG thoughts who are posting half-naked pictures and just filling up your timeline with sexualized content. Remember what we said earlier, how your brain pursues the path of least resistance to pleasure? Well, if you can just implement a couple extra steps between you and watching porn, because it's so easy, right? All you have to do is click on the browser, enter in a couple words, hit search, and it's right there. Boom. So by implementing a couple extra steps, making it a little bit harder to access those things, sometimes it can be enough to deter you. Lastly, I want you to think about this. And this is the one that gets me, and this is the one that I use to motivate myself in many other aspects of life. Think about your ancestors. I'm Swedish and I have Scandinavian and Viking ancestry. So I just think about like the most jacked, ripped, mean looking Viking crew, like fearless savages that are out there like conquering lands and shit. And I just imagine them looking at me alone in my room and how disgusted they are at how big of a pussy I am, and how millions of them risked their lives and lost their lives and continued to do all sorts of crazy shit and struggled and fought wars so that they could reproduce, so that enough time could pass so I could exist, just so that I could be sitting in my room fucking beating my dick, busting nuts and fucking tissues and shit, bro. Fuck all that. Really, really think about your ancestors. Think about all the struggle and hardship that they had to go through so that you could be here. Back in the day, they actually had it tough. Like, life was fucking hard. In today's age, shit is so pussified, shit is so easy. Compared to back then, like, life right now is on easy mode. So you absolutely owe it to them to be the best version of yourself and like do something with your life. Cause what the fuck do you look like if you're sitting at home, you're broke, you're out of shape? Like, bro, they're all looking at you like, damn, we got soft. This motherfucker would not have survived back in the day. And you can apply that same concept to other aspects of life too. Really, really use that to motivate yourself. And if you do it in a healthy way, then it can be very, very motivational and inspiring. For me, it is at least. All right. So that's what I got for you guys today. If you made it to the end of the video, you're a real one. I hope you got something from that. Porn addiction is a very serious thing, and it's unfortunate that most men and an overwhelming percentage of our society is like plagued by this right now. And I hope that by sharing this video and putting it out there, that maybe it helps some of you. I'll make sure to link some additional resources down in the description below. Check those out if you want more help or some good books to read that will really help motivate you to get through this. Again, if you made it this far in the video, you're a real one. I appreciate you. Make sure you like and subscribe. We got more videos on the way coming soon. In the meantime, stay on your journey, keep improving, stay grinding, stay doing the work, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.